you've got 8 hours for each season to provide, but it's so fresh, you know, and going from that first series to the second series as well. New writer, but also you'd got to that point where it was a success. You know, it was, people were talking about it. This is so different. It's refreshing. It's just wonderful. How do you start that process of keeping it fresh, but then trying not to take any, I guess?
Well, we started developing the second season before the first season had gone out.
Yeah.
So it wasn't green lit, but we had to turn it around so it would be on air a year later. And that's really hard when you're starting something brand new. You're having to make it all up again.
Yeah.
And script it, you know, cast it, you know, Damon's got to do all of his stuff. And so it's bloody hard work. It's really hard work. So you have to start early. And we started really with no reaction to the show. So you just start thinking, OK, where can we take these characters who have grown extraordinarily?
And it was important not to repeat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were very keen not to reboot, and just because obviously the first season so brilliantly had been kind of cat and mouse and chase, and it's very possible to just go, oh, well, you know,
I think
Elinор's got away.
Do that. Just go, OK, let's do it again.
They really do, yeah, let's just do it again. And we were really keen, as Sally's saying, with the characters having moved so far. And with that relationship, it's like, you know, once someone has stabbed someone at the end of season 1, that changes their relationship forever. So we really started from that point saying, what happens if someone stabs someone and they're both obsessed with each other? And we always talked about the idea of the first season being a kind of cat and mouse, and the second season being more of a dance between them, because clearly, you know, Villanelle is kind of bought in. And then there's the whole challenge, in a way, of it, because it is hunter and hunted and protagonist and antagonist. It's what you do once they do come together to make sure that the surprises and the stakes remain high, because if you're not careful, they just get to know each other, and it's not quite as thrilling as it was. And that I think that would be the biggest challenge of the season, is just to make sure that new surprising things happen, and in a way the threat of Villanelle never goes away.
But I think once we decided that we were going to start 30 seconds later,
yes,
we knew where we were starting. So we knew we could just pick it up exactly from that moment. And then we went through quite a few evolutions of the beginning of it, you know.
And that was your wonderful idea of doing one shot. But it was, wasn't it? It was just a great thing of, you know, Damon said, well, let's shoot 30 seconds later and let's just follow it in one shot for real. And so you felt Eve's, you know, heart beating and running down the stairs, and you think that's real. You know, what happens if you've just inadvertently stabbed someone and you've got to get out of there? And then that seemed to fuel, in a way, the whole series, because it literally was, what does that feel like?
Yeah.
You know, her trying to get through customs in Paris. You just go, what happens when you realise the knife is still in your pocket? What does a real person feel about that? And then, you know, will Villanelle come after her? And is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know, that's the great thing. It's like, she's not going to leave it there.
Yeah.
So you always think, she's coming for you. So, you know, it was that, wasn't it? It was trying to find new dynamics, I think, between them, which keeps it fresh.
And that was the hardest thing to film, actually, on a train.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, no trains wanted us.
Literally took months and months to sort that out, just that little scene with her on the train.
Didn't get sorted out like 2 days before or something?
Yeah. And to film it just because of the content. So we couldn't film with security, because security couldn't have us show someone approaching with a knife. You know, attempting to go with a knife. So we had to build the whole security in a station.
Wow.
Just for that quick scene.
And but now you're in a state where the eyes of the world, you know, it's such a huge success, the show, and, you know, both in terms of audience and awards and nominees and stuff. Congratulations on the Emmy nominations as well. It's brilliant. But so do you feel pressure with this third series? Do you feel...
Try not to. I mean, I don't read anything. So people go, oh, it's so big, is it? Just don't tell me about it. Sorry.
You absolutely have to block it out.
You do just have to block it out.
No other way.
Yeah. I mean, we don't go around going, oh, look at us. It's just like, oh, please don't tell us. Because we won't be, you can't do, you've just got to continue to try to do your best work all the time and continue just to push it without thinking the pressure is on there, because the pressure is not going to make you do that any better. So I think you do just try and block it out. I mean, Fiona, I don't know how you feel.
I mean, it's certainly a success. I can't go down a street without being mobbed by people. It's quite remarkable. You know, the security of British Airways are very keen on it.
Hello, upgrade!
Questions I get asked. But I think what has worked, and I don't know if they knew it was going to work, but there's a kind of moral precariousness. That scene that he made, it's disgusting just now. I mean, that kind of violence, if that is what's coming out of women's minds when they're freed to think what they like, then there's something amoral about it. And I do think we're living in a very amoral world. And there's something about Killing Eve that playfully plays with that. And so it's onto a good thing anyway. Just spending time with those people in the series, there's something about those, you know, if Eve is becoming badder from being influenced by Villanelle, it is probably a very ancient idea of the devil and the saint, but it is really getting blurred now. But we live in such a world, so it's very true to the world.
I think the other thing, just in terms of the pressure, is also the talent behind it, and constantly looking for female writers who can inhabit it. And we've actually been working with a company called 1,000 Films, and we've been helping on a competition to find more female writers, which has been
amazing.
Yeah, and that's been, and the talent that's come through that has been extraordinary, sort of unrepresented female writers.
And you have a female writing for season
We've got
3.
female writer in Suzanne Heathcote for season 3, and a team of female writers behind her as well. So, you know, that's, you know, I think you feel, rather than the pressure, what the opportunities are as well.
Can I ask you, what's the weirdest question someone's asked you in the street?
Oh gosh, what's the weirdest question? Well, people stop on bicycles. I find that the weirdest thing. People are cycling to work and they stop the bicycle and they get off the bicycle. All I'm doing is crossing the street. And I said, gosh, don't you want to get on with going to work? They all ask me, you know, is so-and-so really dead? Is somebody really dead? What's so-and-so really like? They ask me a lot about Villanelle, which I can never answer because I'm usually on the other side of the plot.
And Fiona, what was that story when you were saying you were on the escalator?
Oh, yes. Last year I was going to Victoria Station and at rush hour because I was going down the country and I was going up on an escalator and everybody, all the commuters were coming down on an escalator and I was the only one going up on the escalator. And every single person on the down escalator was doing that. It's like amazing. I was the only person going up. Why am I the only person going up this escalator?
They probably thought it was
Checking you
done.
It was a Monday morning, so they'd all seen it the night before.
And there was a good one when we were filming in Peckham, I think, and Sandra was in the middle of a take and she stopped and she went, oh, I'm really sorry, it's just, I just saw my face go by in a bus and
yes.
it just put me off.
And I had lunch with Sandra on Sunday and we were trying to, you know, we film on Monday, so we weren't eating too much, so we were sitting there going, yeah, we'll just have a little bit of the, whatever it was, the main course. And then they said, here's just a little something to start. So we were given this sort of, you know, mozzarella on bread. So we said, thanks very much. And then they said, and here's another little something to start. And then they said, well, you have pudding? We said, no pudding. They brought out 4 puddings. We just had 7 courses. Yeah.
Wow, parts of the show.
Yeah.
Good, correct. We've got one last quick clip I'd like to show before we finish, which is from episode 7 of season 1, which is Constantine escaping Villanelle. So good. The chemistry between Jodie and Kim is just extraordinary. And I love how you reacted to that by not killing him off and keeping him part of the narrative as well.
And it's also, I mean, I've talked to Fiona about this before, I do believe so much of it is down to luck as well, because we didn't chemistry read them. We offered to Kim without really working with him before. And the first time they met was at the read-through. And so, you know, and actually everybody's got extraordinary chemistry with Kim.
Yeah, I knew with him as well. It's so great.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, fun to play with.
He's a wonderful actor. I mean, I've seen him in other things. He's absolutely marvellous. In The Bridge, he was just marvellous. He's a fantastic performer. Yeah.
What can you tell us about series 3?
Absolutely nothing.
When are we going to see it? I mean, what's the plan?
Don't know about BBC, so you never know about BBC transmission, but I think it's probably safe sort of springish in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, but it's that, I don't know, you must, like, from people stopping you in the street, but also you must get it as well because it's been so successful and people just want more of it. And that kind of tease and titillation that we kind of have of having you here to talk about it, but knowing that we have a third series there is a wonderful thing.
Good.
You must be very proud of what it's done and what it's achieved so far.
Yeah, I mean, very proud of everybody that's, without getting tearful, everybody that has contributed to it, because everybody does love it and they work incredibly hard and they keep coming back. You know, we've got about 80% of the same crew that we've always had, and actually being on set now, it feels amazing. And I think it's because everybody sees that all the hard work and the love they put into it has been appreciated. But I don't think anybody's got too big for their boot. Everybody's just like getting on with their jobs.
And also, we've only just started, so everybody's
quite fresh. Yes. Yeah.
Probably the hardest question for the last one, but why do you think it has become so successful? Why is it connected with people so brilliantly?
Because the world's falling apart, I think. And I think in 10 years' time, if it ever gets dated, you'll look back and see why it works. I think it's absolutely of now. All culture is retrospective. It's usually behind the times. And there's something about Killing Eve that just seems to be, maybe it's only just 2 minutes behind the time, but it's not far behind. It seems really on it. And I think there are rather sad reasons why it works so well, actually. There's a sort of chaos and precariousness in the world. And I think Killing Eve gets it.
Thank you so much for your time, Steve. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all those guests. Please, round of applause for our wonderful panel.